So over the last 5 years, I've tested and reviewed many smart devices on this channel to find out which ones are the best. Today I'll be sharing the best smart home devices that support Apple Home that I actually use every single day and what I like about them. First up is smart plugs. For indoor, I'm a huge fan of ones by Maris. I've actually been using them ever since I started building my smart home from scratch about 5 years ago, and I have many of them. They work over Wi-Fi, so they don't require a bridge, and they're very affordable. Maris does make a version that supports Matter, but I found those to be less reliable, and I would personally avoid those. If you need energy monitoring, the ones by TP-Link are great. For outdoors, I'm using another Maris smart plug just to keep things consistent. For humidifiers, I'm using one by Vocalink in my daughter's room that has a built-in light that I don't think they make anymore, and the Humel by Airversa in our master bedroom to help us all sleep better, especially during those dry winter months. For thermostats, I like the Ecobee 3 Lite, and I've been using it for years now. It does not have all the bells and whistles like a built-in speaker, Siri, or air quality monitoring, but I don't need any of that. Next up is cameras, and my favorite ones are by Eufy. For indoors, I use both the fixed version for watching my daughter play in her playpen and the pan and tip model in her bedroom that doubles as our baby monitor during the night. They both support HomeKit secure video for viewing past motion clips, and the Eufy app is incredibly easy for viewing past 24/7 footage with colors indicating where the motion was. The picture quality is top notch in my opinion and is a great value. For outdoor cameras, I use the Eufy 2C and 2C Pros. The 2C support 1080p and the 2C Pros support 2K quality, but if you're using them in Apple Home, there's no advantage to getting the 2C Pros over the regular 2Cs since the picture quality of the 2C Pros is downgraded to 1080p quality in the Eufy app and in the Home app whenever it's connected to HomeKit. They both support HomeKit secure video, but I only use them for streaming and not for recording in Apple Home to preserve battery life. They'll still record in the Eufy app, but to save battery life, I don't have them recording in the Home app. Now, you're probably wondering, Adam, why are you using the 2C Pros when they cost more and have no advantage than the 2Cs if you're using them in Apple Home? And that's a great question. Well, to be honest, and this is kind of a little behind the scenes of making videos that you don't see, I did receive the Eufy 2C Pros from Eufy for a video we ended up not making, and I did not have to send the cameras back to Eufy. I was able to keep them. When it comes to doorbells, there's not a lot of options available for me since I don't have a hardwire to the front of my house, and most of the ones that natively support Apple Home are hardwired only, so I needed a battery-powered one. I ended up going with the Eufy Doorbell Dual that has 2 cameras, one for viewing people and one for viewing packages and for receiving package alerts. I actually like this setup better than the traditional doorbell that only has 1 camera and does not capture the bottom where packages end up being for me. It does not support Apple Home natively, but you can use a Raspberry Pi and Homebridge to get it to work with Apple Home, and you get all the features that a doorbell has that does natively support Apple Home. I've made a tutorial video on how to do this, and I will leave that linked right up here. I like using Eufy for all my cameras since all the footage is stored locally on a home base that's inside my home, so there's no monthly fee to access any of my footage. I've tried the doorbell by Aqara that is battery powered as well, but battery life and the viewing angle was not as good as I would like it to be. But it is a good budget option that natively supports Apple Home. Next, let's move into the smart lighting category, starting with smart switches. Lutron is my go-to brand for a smart switch, and they're one of the most reliable smart home devices I've ever used. They come in different styles like controlling the power only, dimming, a fan, and more. They are kind of pricey, so if you're looking for a good budget option, the one by Aqara is a good choice, but they only support power on and off and not dimming like Lutron does. I did receive a switch by Aqara for a review, but I liked it so much that I bought another one with my own money and put it in my closet where I do not need dimming, I just need to control the power on and off, and I was able to save a little bit of money. Both Lutron and Aqara do require their respective hubs to get these devices to work with Apple Home. What also requires a hub to work with Apple Home is smart color bulbs by Philips Hue. They did cost me an arm and a leg, but I must say they are very reliable and totally worth the cost for no frustrations in my opinion. I also use a bulb by Lifex because it's the only bulb that would fit in my living room light fixture. Philips Hue was too big for this. Now I could make my switch smart instead of using a smart light, but I haven't really gotten around to it. For a light strip, my favorite is the Underdog, the Onvis K1 Chameleon. I mainly just use light strips as ambient lighting behind all my TVs while I'm watching a movie or a show. It's addressable so I can paint multiple colors on it, and it has great colors. I also use the Aqara T1 light strip above my bed frame that acts as a Zigbee repeater, helping to extend the range from my Aqara hub to other Aqara devices that may be further away from the Aqara hub, which is actually perfect because it allows me to use an Aqara contact sensor outside, where otherwise the Zigbee signal would not be that strong outside. And this leads us to sensors, starting off with a contact sensor, and my go-to is one by Aqara. They do require an Aqara hub, but man, these things are rock solid and affordable. Battery life is insane. I've been using them for years now and have not had to change the battery life on a single sensor yet. I even use 2 Aqara contact sensors outside on a back gate, and battery life is still great. Aqara makes a new contact sensor that supports Matter, and yeah, skip this one. Get the original one instead. Same thing with motion sensors. I like the Aqara motion sensor and I use it to turn on lights whenever I walk into the bathroom. The Aqara water leak sensor is a small sensor and is a great budget option for being alerted if there's a water leak. The Eve Water Guard is another great one that can detect water leaks across 6 feet of area or more, which is great if you have a large kitchen area, and it has a built-in alarm, but I personally have not used it. For smart locks, I really like the one by Aqara. It has a bunch of features like Apple Home Key support, a physical keyhole, a touchscreen keypad, a fingerprint reader, and more, making it very easy for my wife or guests to unlock or lock the door in any way they like best. I've been using it for over 6 months now, and I have had issues with it going offline every few months whenever I needed it to work the most. Aqara later deemed this lock as defective and sent me a replacement unit free of charge about a month or so ago, and so far this new replacement works much better. Also, I'm pretty sure pairing the lock to an Aqara hub caused the lock to go offline more often, though I cannot say this for certain. The Schlage Encode Plus is another popular choice, but I do not like the design and it did not work well for me. For smart buttons, my go-to is the classic Aqara mini switch. I use it to control lights, run scenes, and have one in almost every room of my house. My favorite places to put this are under my kitchen counter to control my main lights, and one near my front door that turns everything off with one press. I've actually been teaching my 1-year-old daughter how to control some of my smart devices, and she's been using it to control lights as well. And of course, we cannot talk about smart home devices without mentioning the ones that Apple makes, like the Apple TV, great for streaming, and I can control my Apple home devices from here, like watching my daughter in her playpen while I'm working. Or the HomePod Mini, great for playing music, running Siri shortcuts, and controlling smart home devices. Now keep in mind that best is subjective. To me, a product is considered the best if it improves mine and my family's quality of life, has the features that we need, and works well. Your needs may vary, so what works best for me may not work best for you. Use products that work best for your specific needs and preferences. So those are the best smart home devices that I use in my smart home. I'd love to hear what devices that you use and what you use them for down in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching this video. Here's another video that you will like, and I'll see y'all in the next one.